Hello, Scorpio. This is a timeless love variant reading of yours where we discuss however love may be absent or present in your life, or you may be to hear because you caught a vibe and seeing whether or not anything within the storytelling time is yours. Please bear in mind a few of the details while we get ready for your reading that I am Master 7th, aka 7th, that reads these energies for you. Should you want to know who she is, what she's all about, and what I have to offer, her link can be found in the description box below. Please bear in mind that for some insight, I am the Master Healer that provides remote wellness and tarot intuitive insights. This reading may provide you universal justice should you be Scorpio in your Sun, Rising, and or Jupiter position. However, should it be anywhere else in your chart that you're aware of, you may be in search of emotional redemption, or just in general could benefit from the content over my sister channel. Again, the link for everything is down in the description box below, as well as other various ways and how to navigate this channel and my sister channel. And more or less just remember that this is not a one-to-one reading. This is a general collective storytelling time, so use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you and leave the rest. First I had the feeling of like, yay. And then I had a feeling of sadness. The sadness is outweighing the happiness. It's hard for you to remain in the frequency of happiness. You feel pulled in perhaps many different universes, many different responsibilities. You're in need of like recalibration. There's a sternness about the situation. Four of Wands. Mentally, you are doing well. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. Mentally, the Four of Wands gives me the understanding that you have a pretty good head on your shoulder. And if you don't feel like that's true, you have a very good mental aptitude. You know how to more or less shoot for the moon, because then even if you miss, you'll be amongst stars. Someone may want to consider picking up music again some way. However, that may trigger you to think of how that could be introduced to your life. That could mean maybe picking up a musical instrument or going to different music venues and just reintroducing that, okay? Because it's like a pastime memory that's very important to someone here, and introducing yourself to that again, reintroducing yourself to that again, could bring you a level of I'm okay. I heard levitating. Okay, it could allow you to levitate out of whatever vibration that essentially may make you sad about a certain aspect of your life. I think what may feel like sad about this, although you may not have any depiction of that so far, is that something seems far-reaching. It's like there's something far away that you want right here, or maybe there's something right here that seems far away that you want to just get closer and like mitigate and intertwine some way somehow. And there's major success continuing in something that you've already established for yourself. So this is established energy maturing and evolving through the very detailed way that it needs to be addressed, because in doing so, you're alleviating any future negative timelines. And this is imperative due to some of the very many doors you've closed from your past, and however they may still affect your present and your future, it's the very moment now that the more detail oriented you take an approach to this, and however the universe can make you be in this moment, which may be this moment right now because you're here in this reading, okay, plus or minus a few weeks before or after coming across this reading, that you might feel like there's a need to be very detail orientated, a need to tighten up loose ends and, dot your I's and cross your T's, being a bit more thorough, correct. What? I forgot. I can't hear the first part, and it's such a, like, in the holidays, it's like a Christmas thing. But checking this twice. Y'all already got it. Someone's got it already. Anyway, tradition is very important for someone here. Making things make sense. It's not more so if the shoe fits, but how well the shoe lasts for this person. It's not about the designer, it's about the quality and the time spent in the craft. And they equally enjoy others who pay the same amount of attention. And I think the majority of you have already met your match. Or let me tell you, this person is right here and you're just like, I see you. Or they're like right there and I'm trying to get to you. Like there's definitely in the universe. They're in the same universe. As in they're in your bubble. Okay? They're in your bubble. They've crossed your path. You know what they look like, okay? So somebody was like, universe is so large. Let's not worry about how large or vast the universe is if you're still trying to make sense of the universe that's our flesh and bones. We're like the moon itself. We can't see the inside of our body. We just have to trust that the other side of the moon exists. Maybe we have glimpse with like technology and shit, but then even then the science can't give us the more or less the code as to, well, why heart are you giving me, are you in charge of these emotions, Queen of Cups. But whomever it is that is sharing a universe it's not about this person being your match while this person is your match. It's about this person being your equal. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling for some of you Scorpions. At the same time, it's something very fucking familiar. Some of you have asked the universe for this blessing, the sun. In the moments where you went back in your memory and you reflected on wanting to not only remember those memories, but to rekindle yourself with that memory a bit more than the memory would allude itself to make itself remembered by. So you put a lot of work in the mind's eye and keeping your life alive in your mind's eye. That's beautiful. Wow. Keeping your life alive in your mind's eye. That's incredible. Someone may want to consider a diet that is leaning on the side of it being digested and broken down by the anatomy of a person and reaches the wellness of cellular therapy. Yes, there are some stem cell therapy that are a bit controversial because it's very commercialized at this time. So just be aware of that. Okay, it would be just a bit more in the desire of wanting to be in an alignment and having a groundedness approach to some of the decision makings that are to come in life. Okay, and you'll know what that means in terms of showing up to that awkward vulnerability and knowing in that moment it's time to lean into an intuition and the way that you have a relationship with your mind's eye, yep, and are grounded in doing so. Okay, the Star card gives me that permission to understand that in the mind's eye of your emotions, the connection that you have with creating that world of your mind's space, you're very grounded. You see with your eyes, you see with your thoughts. You might see the, what is that, is it synesthesia or something, where it's, you see color with music or just other talents. There's just a vibrant activity that maybe you think is normal and that everybody else like also experiences, but if you talk about it, you might start realizing 99% of that feedback that you might come across to the first 6 or so candidates are going to be like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You sure you're not on drugs or something? Like, what kind of meds are you on? That bullshit. And that's the biggest fucking gaslighting there could be. Some of those are experts. Some of those are experts. Some of them are doctors. Whatever. Anyway, yep. Some of them are high prestigious labels to themselves who play experts. Anyway. We're not ruling out, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond, that there is an unknowing towards your intuition. You might have a pendulum that's swinging left and right and know more or less what being in the right side of that pendulum swing means for you and how to advocate for that fight, that the pendulum being in that space is telling you why it's in that space. So while you explore that world of why that pendulum within you is swinging to that space of curiosity, you're going to move forward, or maybe lateral or bilateral or whatever the fuck it could mean, to diagonally down, north, south, east, west, the decisions based on those understanding of self. They're not about either being in this, and that example, on the right side of the pendulum, or the righteous side of the pendulum within, and having you advocate for the decision process to continue being in that pendulum space, isn't concerned about being righteous for every decision that you make or the emotional consequences that come from drawing those decisions. They're not really interested in how much you are in cahoots with yourself on how to make the decision, if you're confident with the consequences, if you know the consequences, if you know the facts, if you know the facts going before, middle, and end, how you feel before, middle, and end, how someone else might feel before, middle, and end. Those are all the universal justices that the ether, unfortunately, for the betterment of self, doesn't care about your emotions. The only way to make that very clear is, however, through your emotions. And while those emotions are unstable, it's exactly why the ether can trigger you in that instability, and then also cause illusions at the same state that you think that you're a master of that emotion. And you might go to certain people who might be more astute with their own righteous way of their own pendulum swinging in their own universe, and they know information, data, and the adventures of why they are in that niche, a field of you being their quote-unquote patient. And again, the decisions upon that person isn't caring about whether or not, whether it's from them or the consequences of the universe, about the emotional effects or the consequences of the transactions that that specialist or doctor or whoever or anyone does. The intuition isn't about the material world. The intuition is about the flow of the internal world. And when the external is in a war zone with the internal world of yours, then it is your right to dictate the internal world, to force the external world to justify itself and its relationship with you to be cohesive, unconditional, and fair. And since that's something that has been, since a lot of us probably can think of, been in the short end of the stick, more or less, of that opportunity of righteousness, there are going to be a lot more variables moving forward that going to make themselves louder in awareness that universe is the one actually in control, even if you no longer know the right words to begin having the conversation of what it means to even label the universe what it is, or label God what it is, or goddesses or deities or whatever. There are going to be much more chaotic situations occurring outside and within your own private world that will allow you to more or less accept what I mean, in an essence, kind of already know. It's not about you being a student in topics and needing to know every narrative that's out there and appeasing people. You just understand that the world that's in your mind's eye, very specifically here, mind's eye here, okay? And mind's eye also with the things that you hear, see, smell, experience, and the feelings of the gut instincts and the logic and intelligence through your emotional space of your heart. You are someone who is high vibrational, more or less here. The majority of us that will ever maybe come across this reading, as long as reading is available, are higher vibrational entities experiencing the vibration of human. To experience that vibration of human is on a vibrational scale much slower of a speed than it means to be the experience to get to experience this experience. And to accept all that is to explore the many ways that your emotional self is going to flow through all this wisdom. The key is not to stay stuck in water and drown yourself in that. You have to take a breath. Hierophant. Being in love with love and all the difficulties that it presents, because you're someone who isn't about like being two rose-colored glasses. You're very real in more ways than one. You just know the kind of fucking work it requires to show up to this shit. You understand more or less the role that you sign up for, especially if you're the one who's saying, yes, this is me and I'm signing up for this role. I know what role I've signed up for. Thank you very much. And I also know, while to maintain this role, I know all the other subcategory roles, all the other bilateral, up, down, beneath, wherever direction and all, that also are responsible into creating the role that I am and that I signed myself up for. It's like, yeah, I know what's up. And you being, I think, going to, I get a lot of like excited happiness, yet with sadness, that it's like, whoa, you need this, you deserve this energy coming at you of like, yeah, you need that reward. I'm all for that. Yeah. Do you have to do much? Nah. Just keep doing what you think you doing. And some of you are like, I'm not doing anything. Oh no, you do a lot. I'm doing a lot. And what is it that you're doing? You're not putting up with bullshit. Any situation, any people, places, or things that make you feel toxic, react toxic, think toxic, you're like, oh, it's a fishy situation. I gotta get rid of you. And if you can't get rid of them entirely, you're like, all right, well then I gotta put you right here, and we're gonna have to deal with how we're gonna keep you here in this compartment, and this is how much rent you have to pay for being here. Don't be so concerned whether or not you're fair, because you are very fair. The people that love you, and know more or less why you do what you do, because they feel what it is that you do. That's all that I have for you at this time. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning and night wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.